Alright, timestamp. February 13th, 2026. Friday the 13th. It's about, actually, it's not about, it's right at 6 a.m. I just had a puppy nose go somewhere it wasn't supposed to go. You just went outside with Tiny. Don't even give me that. Anytime I make a recording. I went to bed about 8 p.m., sprang awake at midnight. No reason. I've been kind of putzing around, getting a couple things done here and there. Health check wise. Feel okay. A little bit of anxiety, you know. I always feel like I'm going to get that phone call. So, sorry, Kaiser. And again, I'm not going to not feel like that until I do get that phone call, and then my brain will be in a whole new landslide of emotions. Genius. Trying to tangle me up. So I did get in one of the accent colors for what's going to be Rebecca's Jeep. This is Rust-Oleum acrylic matte finish, which that's fine. Because I'm probably going over it with a gloss anyway, so it's not a big deal. Ghost pepper. It's kind of an unusual color, right? But it's almost a perfect match for one of the main colors for Rebecca, like in her palette. Because realistically, her main colors are like a copper, that red, because that's really close to it, and there's like a true blue. If you look up Robecca, Robecca, Steam, if you look up like what the doll looks like with her original costume and all that, it's pretty much what we got going on. So I'm going to try and do the Jeep in that with those three colors in mind. Maybe a little bit of variation with some other dryer. See, I've been doing stuff. Some other maybe slight accent colors here and there that are in the like steampunk wheelhouse of colors. Because if you look at like steampunk color, there's quite a few different palette suggestions. And similar to that red, similar to that blue, frequently with browns and coppers. So I may pick something else in there too, just as like a fourth color, or even a fifth color, depending on, once I get into the details of it. You know, there may be some black in there, you know, because if I'm doing the main thing as like a dark copper, I've got the bronze, the like rub bronze or what have you, I may do a black for like instruments and things like that, to make it pop against the brass looking color, if that makes sense. That's what I'm thinking. This black will pop really cool against that. And it's still the kind of color that you would see in gauges and instruments and things of that nature. You wouldn't necessarily see the red or the blue. Textiles certainly, but not necessarily machinery. I think that makes sense. I just pretty much killed off a pot of coffee. I know I had a little bit of help from Alex, because there was coffee. Alex is going to be there. Oh, and this is because there were a couple of Six Flags. Just to recap, the other day I was, looking at mugs, because it's one of the weird things that I do. And and I thought this was kind of a one-off because I have this one in the cabinet. Six Flags, it's Marvin, basically on a roller coaster. And apparently they did, I've only found like 4 or 5 others, but I found 4 or 5 others, same kind of motif. They changed the color of the roller coaster car and whatnot to complement or contrast the character. But they did a whole bunch of the guys. Like a whole bunch of the guys. Like I have on order because I have a mug problem and I know that. I need some more vanilla cream brulee, Harry and David. Um, I have a Bugs Bunny on order because you did Marvin. Of course, you're going to do Bugs Bunny because he's kind of your main character as far as your brand is concerned. I have a Tweety on order, and I have a Yosemite Sam on order. And I also saw they want like $20 plus 20 shipping. I don't do $40 mugs. I found a Porky Pig and somebody else. It was a Sylvester, I think. Which again, that one was going to be like 35 or 40. No. The others have all been like $8, $6 shipping, whatnot. I think one of them I did have to go up to 17, or it kind of became 17 once I was done, which, okay. Sacrificing my standards. I'm trying to keep it under 15 anytime I do something like that. Which does actually eliminate a lot of possibilities, because shipping a mug is not cheap. They've usually got a little bit of weight to them, and they're not, like ring size. They're, the size of a coffee mug, strangely. So they're usually like $8 or $9 to ship, but some people have been able to get away with doing it for like 6 or 7, which means typically a lot of the mugs that I look at are going to be under $10 as far as the actual price. If I had a price is no object, it would be dangerous, actually. I'd need to build, my dad had to build a shed for extra Christmas ornaments that my mom had picked up. I'd have to get rid of the Christmas ornaments and just start using that to store my mug collection. Well, yeah, I've got a few more mugs in the past collections or groups that I picked up that are going to go in the sell batch. I like them. I don't love them. But the Six Flags, the whole on a roller coaster thing amuses me. So grabbing a couple of those. Those are pretty cool. Yeah, I got problems. I'll say if that's the worst of my problems right now, I'm great. Took a shower. It was refreshing. It was nice. Fresh and clean. But I'm probably going to go back and grab a couple more hours sleep because Pix isn't going to be over until I think like 10 or 11. I think she's got a medical thing in the morning. We had a couple places that we could go today, but I'm not feeling it. Maybe when I wake up I'll be like, yeah, let's do it. But right now, we're making too much progress here. I don't know that I want to sit in the waiting room for 4 hours while they decide to call me. I think I'm better off like trying to set an appointment. It's a financial thing for Dad. You can walk in and wait for an appointment, or you can try and book an appointment. I think I'm going to book an appointment because I don't want to sit in one of those waiting rooms for 4 hours, because that's usually how it works. Government. Shoot me now kind of stuff, But yeah, no, we've been making really good progress. And again, you wouldn't. It's the kind of thing that if you look at the big picture, you're going to go, no, you're not. If you look at the individual areas that we're actually working on, you can see it. I'm working on clearing stuff out of the garage and or like the foyer area. And Tiny has been consolidating the lanai under my direction, and also been making some from the hip decisions that have been really solid. really solid. Some good outside the box thinking going on out there. And I let Tiny know that. Make me proud when you do that. Because, yep. Your choices were very, very good ones, and they opened up a new possibility, so nicely done. Yeah. Yeah, that 4-ish hours. Nope. Not gonna cut it. Not gonna cut it. Yeah, and they're Doctor Who, Roku. I can't even. I don't know. I went to sleep during Monster of Peladon, which is a fantastic John Pertwee episode. It's John Pertwee, Third Doctor, and Sarah Jane. Really, really cool episode. I like that one a lot. And I woke up to Caves of Androzani coming on, which is Peter Davison, number 5. It's actually his last episode. It's with Perry. So, I mean, we spent a week, I think 8 days actually, on Tom Baker. And then we went into 3 for a day, and now we're on 5. So maybe they figure the past week makes up for the whole Tom Baker 4 thing, so we're just skipping to 5. It's all very confusing to me. But yeah, I did some laundry, did some other little odds and ends of things, but nothing real serious. Watching some videos here and there, trying to figure out, am I going to do this or am I going back to bed for a minute, you know? Hi, Janus. If you heard, I don't know if the mic picked up the little chirp. That was Janus doing a hop by chirping. Hex, what you doing, buddy? What you doing, dude? Hmm? You know you're not supposed to be out there, right? Yeah. You know I let you get away with way too much stuff, right? Yeah. I love this cat. You alright? Yeah. Jackass, I'm not supposed to be on the counter, you know that. I'm still not AI. My cat is a jackass. And I love him to pieces. I'm very glad he's here. Because that was one of the things when I knew I was going to be getting dropped off basically here before either one of my kids, whatnot. And I told Pix, I'm like, I want my cat here, I want my dog here. Otherwise I'm going to go crazy. Yeah, I got a bunch of packages coming in, but nothing. I got my spray paint, you know. And it does look like the Jeep is mostly screwed together as far as the main chassis with the body. So that's good. So I'm gonna take it apart, you know, take the top part, the actual body of the Jeep, and prime it, and then hit it with the bronze, and It's going to be a step-by-step component thing. Yeah. Also not AI. I realized seeing a cat with 3 legs, you're going to say, oh, that's an AI mistake for sure. No, he's an amputee. He's going to be just fine. You're really not supposed to be on the bar, man. X is just staring at me over my ashtray, over the camera. Looking at you. Got the trash out. A lot of debris, stupid stuff, moldy stuff. It's just a lot of stuff here that might have been worth something at some point that just isn't now, you know. It's funny because there's a paranormal guy. He does explores and whatnot. Adam Mark. I watch him on YouTube. And he goes into places that are abandoned and does like paranormal investigations, but he also sometimes just does like, I think they call it urban explorers. You know, and he'll be talking about, you can see the mold, the decay over here. No one's been here for like 20 years. You know, you can see this black mold over here. You know, this floor's a bit dodgy, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, do you want to come here? Because I got some of that. I got some of that. You can... There's sort of a time capsule. I think he pronounces it capsule, which I don't know if that's... I don't know that that's standard British. Or what do they call it? RP? RM? The like broadcast English. I'm not certain if it's that or where he's from exactly, if he's like from North Country or something like that, Manchester maybe. I've never heard it pronounced that way, but some of the English dialects can be, they're all very different. They're as colorful as American accents. You know what I mean? Like Texas versus Georgia versus Midwest, you know. There's a lot of flavor to the broad spectrum of UK accents. So I've never heard it pronounced capsule. And it's like schedule. Yeah. You can see the decay. They just walked away. No one's touched it in years, you know. And I go to some of the areas here and I'm like, I just saw this in a video. It's a stack of Bibles, all moldy. Got some of that. Yeah, got a lot of that. There are some areas we haven't even really been able to dig through to get to. Working on it. It's part of the Lanai project too, is we haven't even been in this back corner. Because the Lanai was rectangular shaped, you know. And then my dad built like a closet-y thing over here, and there's still like a pass-through where it looks like he has some large plastic, plastic water barrels like the big, like 50-gallon drum, like water barrels, and they're just kind of shoved in there. They're still screened inside there, and that's actually why I think when Hurricane Milton came through, it blew the roof off. Is I think the air. I think the air, instead of being able to pass through from screen to screen, because hurricane wind rotates, it's cyclonic. I think because my dad built that closet and basically barricaded up the space where there was an opening, I think the wind came in through this opening of the screen and could no longer escape out the other side, so instead the wind went up and basically popped the roof like a balloon. That's my theory. Because this wasn't the first time that like a Cat 2, Cat 3 had rolled through this area, but it's the first time the roof got, pulled off, which makes me wonder if something my dad did structurally allowed it to happen. I'm not saying my dad caused it exactly, but I'm wondering if because the wind wasn't able to go through, it went up. Speculative physics. I don't know, I wasn't here, but that weird closety thing that he built wasn't here either. Not, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, what have you. That's new. I'm guessing. And I'm tired, but that's a theory I've had for a while. If you dam up a river, the water is going to go somewhere. Same kind of concept with air, right? If you stop air from going somewhere, well, there's still air coming in. It's going to have to go somewhere. The 10 pounds of air in the 5-pound bag, it's going to find a way. It's going to pop a seam. That makes sense. Hopefully it does. If not, just the ravings of a madman. Right? That machine, man, you can't teach that kind of comedic timing. You know what I mean? You've either got it, Zybots, or you don't. My cat is just staring at me. So, and you're gonna wink at me? Okay. Oh, it's popped my back. I took a Menthocarb a little while ago too. My back's just been really killing me the past 2 days because I'm doing a lot of bending, stooping, lifting, stretching. Then I'm doing some bending and stooping with my lifting as well. And my lower back is going, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be doing any of this. You know that, right? Okay, let me remind you. My cat just messing around. And you wink at me again. All right, here you go. I'm going to call it here. I don't have a lot to say. I feel like I'm just rambling. Just a quick catch up. I might do another video later on today after Pix comes over and we figure out what we're getting done. But yeah, I'm gonna lay down again because pretty sure I got 3 hours-ish. Because I laid down at like 8 o'clock and then, full disclosure, I did watch an episode and I remember at least probably another half of a part of Monster of Peladon, because again, Doctor Who, I think I saw part 4 and part 5 in its original format style. It's not just like a 1 hour show, it's each episode's like a 2 hour movie or sometimes a 3 or 4 hour movie broken up into like 25-minute parts. Very cliffhangery serial, not breakfast type, the other kind of serial stylization. And when I went to lay down, it was part 4 was just starting, part 5. Yeah, I think so. That means I was up for probably 30 to 40 or 50 minutes out of the 4 hours. So yeah, I got 3 hours and change sleep, maybe two, maybe 3.5. And that would be the most sleep that I got would be about 3.5. But it was probably closer to 3. So that could explain why my body's going, you're actually not recharged yet. Plug yourself back in for a minute, you know. And I've honestly been working harder than I have. This beginning, middle of January, I did kind of shut down a little bit because of the situation with my mom and her birthday and all that. I mean, I was still getting stuff done, but it did kind of take the wind out of my sails a little bit. Starting to remember who I am. I don't want to spend 5 years doing this, so that's motivational too. Let's get this done. Because, no, I want to spend 5 years picking up after your mistakes. I'm sorry if that sounds selfish or mean. It's just the damn truth. It's not fair that I have to do it at all. You know what I mean? I'm not spending 5 years doing it. 2, okay. Because when you were alive, I told you I was expecting to spend 2. So we'll say that that's a debt that I owe. And that's even pushing it. Because you could have handled this and you didn't. You know? Anyway, I'm going to call it there. Even if you don't want to, hug your parents. Hug your kids. You know, if you're on the other side of the equation there. And make it a great day.